I know it's really hard to believe, but people don't always want the easiest way out. In the 1950s, Pillsbury aimed to create a one-of-a-kind cake mix that would transform how people make cakes. Their essential assumption was less effort equals happier customers. The less they do, the happier they get. But in reality, sales fell flat. Ironic as it sounds, customers preferred a product that made them do more. In this video, we're going to examine the connection between labor and well-being and why we tend to overvalue products that we helped creating. Previous research already tied together the connection between labor and well-being. The effort justification theory demonstrates how putting more effort into something leads the individual to value the outcome more. The individual will overvalue the outcome because they want to justify the effort they've put into it. For example, imagine you are training for a marathon. You're training vigorously for weeks and weeks, but you end up winning nothing. Regardless, you may feel an immense pride, and you value the experience so highly. And it's all because the effort you've put into the training and into the race. Yet, no one fully explained why people tend to overvalue a product of their labor over the same identical product they had nothing to do with. A 2012 study found out why. This irrational bias of ours was coined as the IKEA Effect, named after the Swedish company that is known for selling unassembled furniture pieces. The study made the following conclusions. 1. This applies for everyone, not just DIY lovers. There is no correlation between intrinsic affinity for DIY projects and how consumers value their self-made products. 2. Customers will be inclined to overvalue a product even if it's not fully, completely tailored to their preferences. 3. If the individual was unsuccessful in the creating process, they will not overestimate the value of the product. 4. We believe our self-made products are equal to the ones built by experts. This cognitive bias affects how and what we consume. As the target audience of the cake mix felt just too detached from the baking process, they felt like imposters when others complimented their delicious dessert. Hence, they just stopped buying the product. To mitigate the downward sales trend, Pillsbury decided to revamp their magical mix and made the baking process longer for the baker. What? And it actually worked. There is a thin line between what users consider as a burden and what they consider as an essential contribution to feel a sense of ownership for the product. More about it and how it impacts user engagement in my video right here. The pride we feel in our DIY projects lead us to choose them over a more practical, more cost-effective solutions. For example, we tend to overprice our DIY projects when we sell them online. Moreover, this emotional investment causes us often to overlook the flaws of our DIY projects. Hence, we just settle for less. Consider a scenario where you've built a desk for your home office. Although it's not as sturdy as a store-bought one, you still find yourself unwilling to replace it. This emotional bond can be so strong that you might resist any suggestions for upgrading your DIY project, convinced that there is nothing that can compare to what you've painstakingly crafted. To avoid making irrational decisions due to the IKEA effect, you should try to mitigate your emotional-based evaluation by asking for an outsider's perspective. Another way is to consider the time and effort required for a DIY project when evaluating its price. For example, if you're thinking about buying a disassembled sofa, you must ask yourself if the lower price truly offsets the work required to build it. To learn more about how we really think and how you can leverage it to move your business forward, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.